Hello and welcome to Yoga with Glenn. I'm Glenn. Welcome to your yoga flow for digestion. It's that time of the year where some of us might need it for that particular meal. If not, this is just a great overall yoga flow to help with the digestive process. Please hop in some comfy clothes, hop on your mat, and let's get started. To begin, meet me down on your mat in an easy cross-legged seated position. I'm seated on a bolster just to raise my hips off the ground, just to make this cross-legged position a little bit more easy for me. Tall spine, open heart. You can rest the hands on the knees, whichever way you want, up, down. And from here we can establish a breath for this practice. So exhale, let everything go. Really pull that belly button in towards the spine, and then inhale from the belly, through the ribs, into the chest, lifting the heart, and then exhale, chest falls, ribs come back in, belly button gets pulled all the way to the spine. Another breath with an inhale, belly, ribs, and chest, and then exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Now let's see if we can lengthen the inhale for about a 4-second count. So when you're ready, exhale, let everything go. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Now repeat that to yourself, 4-second inhale, 4-second exhale, and see if you can lengthen it from there. Maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds if you're able to. If not, stick to a number you are comfortable with, maybe 5 seconds. Just to really prolong that inhale and exhale. And what that does is the air moves into our lungs and our lungs expand, and that gets everything else inside of our belly moving around. And it's a really good way, the breath alone is a really good way to aid in that digestion. Now you can be mindful of your breath during this practice, especially while we're twisting, and you can still allow that air and those lungs expanding to help everything out. So when you're ready, inhale, circle the arms up, drop one arm, and take a lateral bend over to one side, using the arm to prop you up and arcing the other arm overhead. If you'd like, you can look up at the hand that's overhead. Try not to be scrunched up in the neck. Try to separate the shoulders from the ears. And it's just a gentle bend for now. And when you're ready, with an inhale, come back up. And exhale. Just gentle bending over to the opposite side. Feel the crunching of one side, feel the lengthening of the other. Easy inhales, gentle exhales, gazing up at this hand if you like. And then when you're ready, inhale, come back up, and then exhale over to the opposite side. This time, play around with the arm that's arched overhead. Play around with the armpit position, shoulder position, maybe bring it a little more forward, bring it a little bit backwards, open yourself up a little bit more, and just kind of play around with this position, see what's most comfortable and most effective for you. After an exhale, an inhale, come back up, and then exhale, bend over to the other side. Same thing with that armpit, move it further back, further forward. Find a comfortable position for yourself. And inhale. Come back up to the center. This time we're going to twist to the opposite side. One hand resting on the thigh for support. The other hand on the ground or bolster behind you. And not really forcing the twist, but just as much as you can twist. Twisting from the belly, of course. And here we can really focus in on those inhales and exhales, using the air in our lungs to aid in digestion Another breath here. And exhale. And on the inhale, come back up to center. And exhale. Twist to the opposite side. Same thing, using the breath to get things moving inside your belly. An extra breath, and when you're ready, inhale, arms come up back to center, and then exhale, twisting back over to the opposite side. Again, not forcing the twist, just a gentle twist. Really breathing into this posture. An extra breath here. And when you're ready, inhale, hands and arms come forward and up, and then exhale, back over to that opposite side one last time. Two breaths total in this position. And when you're ready, inhale, arms come forward and up, and then exhale, bring the hands down on the mat. If you're facing the correct way in your mat, meet me in a table posture. Come off of the props. Set the props off to the side for now. And meet me here in that neutral table posture. Hips stacked over knees, shoulders stacked over wrists. And from here, we're going to lift the tailbone and really focus on dropping that belly, inhaling into it, lifting the chest, lifting the chin. Take an extra breath here. Really focus on dropping that belly. And then on your exhale, switch over to cat pose, tucking the tailbone this time. You're going to feel like the belly is really kind of scrunching. Send the spine up towards the sky. Press through the earth with the hands. And the chin falling towards the chest. Now that your belly is kind of scrunched, you're not going to be able to take a full breath here, but focus on taking that deep breath in this position as much as possible. And when you're ready, transition on your next inhale. We'll come back in to cow pose, lifting that tailbone, really dropping that belly, lifting the chin, lifting the chest. An extra breath here in this posture. And then after an inhale, exhale into that cat pose. Tuck that tailbone, press through the earth with the hands, chin falling towards the chest. And on an inhale, back into that neutral table posture when you're ready. Now tuck the toes if they're not already, and then press the hips up into downward facing dog. Adjust your hands and your feet if you need to. Really press the chest towards the thighs, pressing through the earth with the hands still. Wiggle the chin, yes. Shake the head, no. Let's make sure the neck is nice and loose. Have some space between the shoulders and the ears. Aiming to get the heels as close to the ground as possible. If you can't quite get there, that's okay. Just something to work on. And if you're able to, on an inhale, lift the right leg into the ground, three-legged dog, and send that foot in between the hands, dropping the back leg. And then with an inhale, lift the shoulders up over the hips. And trying to keep the hips pointed straight here. Inhale, bring the arms up for low lunge proper. And then take that twist over the bent knee, gazing over the back shoulder. And again, we'll breathe into this twist. Take another breath for good measure. And exhale. When you're ready to inhale, inhale, lift the arms up, and then exhale. Hands come back to the ground in either table posture, downward dog, or if you'd like to go into high plank and then send the hips back up for downward dog, you may do so. Either way, downward dog, same things apply. Chest towards the thighs, trying to get the heels close to the ground. Neck is nice and loose. And then when you're ready, after an exhale, inhale, lift the left leg, three-legged dog. And then exhale, send that foot between the hands, dropping the back knee. When you're ready, elevate the shoulders over the hips. Focus on pointing those hips forward on your mat. And then inhale, arms up. And then exhale, take that twist over the bent knee. You don't have to force this twist again, just some support, the hand on the front leg here. Gazing over that back shoulder and really focusing on breathing into that belly. Take an extra breath here. And after your next exhale, inhale. Lift the arms up. And then exhale, bring them down to the mat. And if you're able, go high lunge. Or high plank, and downward facing dog, or just meet me in downward facing dog. I'll slowly walk the hands towards the feet, and the feet towards the hands, till you come into this standing forward fold. Give yourself a generous bend in the knees here. Rest the torso against the thighs. Let the arms hang heavy, and just take a breath or two in this position here. Really breathing against the thighs. The air goes to a little bit different kind of place. The lungs don't quite have the room to expand as they normally would. And after your next exhale, as you inhale, slowly begin to roll up. One vertebrae at a time, stacking, coming into this standing posture, this Tadasana, this mountain pose. Adjust if you need to. I'm going to turn and face you so you can see these next steps here. So come a little bit wide on your mat, toes pointed out about 45 degrees. And you may need to adjust as needed. Challenge to keep your hands at heart center like this, but we're going to slowly start sinking the hips down. If you feel you're at a place you need to adjust the feet a little bit, you can, but try to remain upright with the torso, sinking the hips down into this garland pose, this yogi squats. And now that you're down here, just begin to breathe. And again, if you need to adjust, you can. Press the knees against the elbows against the knees, keeping those hands at heart center. And take 3 breaths here in this yogi squat. And slowly release. And bring your arms around the back of you. Take a nice, easy seat down. And then if you're facing sideways on your mat, go ahead and face the correct way on your mat. Come up to the upper third of your mat, and we're going to sink down onto our back. Once you're down all the way on your back, heads against the ground, bring the legs together. Bring the knees together, ankles together. Float the feet off the ground in sort of this 90-90. And then we're going to bring the arms out to a T and let the legs fall over to the left side. Another twist variation, just a little bit different this time. And really focus on breathing into that belly. And after your next exhale, on an inhale, go ahead and bring those legs back up to center, and then let them fall over to the opposite side. Arms still out at a T here. Try to keep that 90-90 as in your twist here. Now feel the differences between this side and the opposite side as you breathe into that belly. Is it better, worse, the same? What feels different? And after your next exhale, on an inhale, float those knees back to the center, and then grab the shins, pull your knees into your chest. Try to keep the legs together. And if you can, give your shins a hug. If you'd like, you can let the back of the head remain on the ground, or you can tuck it in and breathe into yourself this way. Whatever you prefer, just make it the most comfortable for you. And this one can be particularly good for digestion, and I've always called this posture a knee hug. But if you'd like to look it up for yourself, it's called Apanasana, is the Sanskrit. It's A-P-A-N, asana. If you'd like to look that up and see why it's good for digestion, for you to do so. After your next exhale, slowly release, grab a hold of the knees, and let the feet come to the ground. Bring the feet together, and opening the feet, opening the knees, bring the soles of the feet together, letting the knees splay out as they will. And breathing into the belly. If you'd like to change the treatment, bring the heels closer to you or farther away, or find some place in the middle that's comfortable for you. Now to transition into our next posture, slowly, one leg at a time, slide the foot, the ankle forward until the leg is straight. Nice and slow. Try to keep the knee as close to the ground as possible. If you need to adjust yourself on your mats, do so, but try to make it very small movements as we get comfortable in our corpse pose, our shavasana. If they weren't already, let the palms face the sky, back of the arm on the ground. Let the heels remain heavy on the ground. Maybe feel the air pass underneath the knees. Let the hips rest heavy on the ground. Feel the belly rise and fall with each breath as you let the breath run wild. Feel the weight of your shoulders on the ground, the back of your arms, back of your hand. Feel the air pass between the fingers. Let the back of the head rest heavy on the ground. Let your eyes roll back into their orbits. Let the tongue fall back into the lower palate. And imagine the brain sliding to the back of your skull. Nothing left to do, nowhere else to be, but just to be at ease. Wherever you are, lost in thought, release that thought and return to the breath. Feel the belly rise with a gentle inhale. Feel it fall with an easy exhale. Start to bring awareness back to the body. Invite small movements, starting with the fingers and toes, eventually rolling the wrists and the ankles. Let the movements grow as you bring your body back to life, and eventually extend the arms overhead, point the toes, and feel a full body stretch. Bend one leg and place the sole of the foot on the ground. Press off that foot and roll over onto your side. Bringing the arm up as a pillow, bringing the knees towards the chest just a little bit. Coming into this recovery posture and just giving the body a little bit of time to catch up. We don't want to sit up right away and get lightheaded. After a couple breaths here, and when you're ready, going to press yourself up into an easy cross-legged seated position. Cross at the ankles, nice tall spine, open heart, level chin. I want to thank you for joining me in this practice today. Hopefully was able to either get you moving or relieve some digestive issues you may have. Either way, I hope you found this practice beneficial. Now to close out, we'll take one last breath together. Let's inhale, circle the arms up, touch the palms overhead, and bring the hands down to heart center. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste.